But after the match, we saw FTR, who was suspended from the Tag Team Battle Royal. Initially, we thought maybe COVID, but actually it was storyline. Kudos to them. So FTR, pissed off that they're suspended from the match, they take matters into their own hand because they think it was Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus that went and ran to the principal.
And they kidnap a child.
And they kidnapped a child and maybe make him into a gimp? What the fuck was that?
Yeah. Yeah, look, I'm not a big fan of the Marko Stunt. Like, he's not a guy that's ringing any bells with me. So them kidnapping him, I was like, yeah, this kind of makes me like them more. But I get the storyline, right? Like, yeah, okay, why not? FTR is another one where they're not bad, and they do what they do pretty well. Mm-hmm. I don't really care a whole lot, right? Like, they could do something, and I'll be like, meh. And they could do a different thing, and I'll be like, yeah, okay. Like, I just don't, I'm not really jumping on the wagon, and I'm not really wanting to boo them hard. I'm not wanting to cheer them much, but I recognize them as good, I guess.
Yeah, I think what's missing for me is that, like, authentic moment from them. And what I mean by that is, if you go back to WWE and you saw the career of Triple H, he was one of the guys that I felt like very similar to FTR, where it's like, this guy is really good. He can do everything really well, right? Like, can be a bad guy and I don't like him, but I'm not really caring. Or he could be a good guy and I'm not really caring if he wins or loses. But then if you go back to his career and he does that promo, that backstage interview with Jim Ross, and he anoints himself as the Game, as like the motherfucker who's here to kick everyone's ass. And you started to see him a little different than just toy water guns and boobies and, hey, I got China next to me, and like a real motherfucker who could win some championships. Yeah. And I think that's what FTR needs, is some like punch us in the face with what you are.
You know what? Like, for whatever reason, yeah, FTR, it felt like they really started making the rounds on this, like, when they had that like feud online with the Young Bucks, when they were in WWE, was FTR as what did we call them there?
The Revival.
Mm-hmm. And they caught flack because of their whole no flips, just fists, and they kind of were taking that gimmick and living it and saying stuff online. And the Young Bucks were like, well, screw you, we're flips, and so they started the FTR, which was fuck the Revival, right? And that's kind of where this name born out of. I feel like since then they've taken that and ran that and acted like they were a big deal, you know what I mean, in the eyes of the wrestling world because of that. And I don't think they were, right? Like, I think they've just kind of carried that momentum as like, look, everybody thinks we're a big deal. And I'm like, no, you caught residual Young Buck, you know what I mean? A little bit. Tricklings, right?
I agree with that to a certain extent, but I would also say, they had some really good matches as that throwback tag team, which everyone was wanting in WWE. And I think they were living off of two things. I think one was what you said. The Young Bucks said, fuck the Revival. And they said, well, fuck you. And they took the name and they made it their own, right? Mm-hmm. But then the second one was, hey, we're not just people that people hate. We actually have fucking good matches. Watch us take on Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano or American Alpha. Like, we're fucking good tag team wrestlers. And in WWE, the land where a tag team gets broken up in 2 months, we just clamored for some tag team to take us to the promised land of the 1980s, of the Hart Foundation and the Rockers and all of those guys.
Yeah, I just feel like, and again, they're wrestling. You're supposed to, right? Mm-hmm. Believe your own shit, and,
Of course. Yeah.
But like, I always felt like they've unjustifiably placed themselves as like, we're top 5, and I'm like, nah. Mm-mm.
Well, see, and that's what I think they need to do. And that's what I think they need to do. I think they need to hit us in the face with a shoot promo. And again, it doesn't have to be like, my real name is, Jeff or whatever the fuck it is. I'm just saying, like, it can be this, you motherfuckers are all sleeping on us. We keep saying, but like they could say, like, you guys keep thinking that we're not good, and we're going to prove to you each and every week how fucking awesome we are. Look at Marko Stunt. We just threw him off this goddamn railing, like something, That would
have been cool. Let's see now, like, if you would have kidnapped Marko Stunt and actually done something brutal to him, I'd been like, right now I'm just left with like, oh, those guys are going to rape that guy.
Yeah,
I don't
something.
know. I don't know what those guys are going to do.
Not
That's a
looking
broomstick or
forward to
something.
being Marko Stunt. Not at all.